All right, now you're in the storms make you stronger. So obviously the theme for this is the storm and why it makes you stronger. So let's jump right into the narrative, right into the story. So there's this girl that lived in Reno with her parents, and she was ready to see the world. She thought, oh man, I could do this on my own. I don't need my parents. I don't need all this support here. I want to go have fun, and I want to go kind of discover who I am and what life is all about. So her mom and her dad helped her pack up her car, and she packed up her car. She drove it down to Louisiana. She found a little apartment in Louisiana, unpacked her car, and started into her life, right? Started into her self-discovery, right? Without the parents, without the support system. She was on her own, just having a great old time. But then little did she know, there was a storm kind of looming on the horizon coming up. And the storm comes through, turns into this huge tropical storm, and tropical storm turns into this huge hurricane, right? And so she's deathly afraid now. She's sitting in her apartment, super scared, that she jumps into her bedroom. She covers her head with her covers, right, in her bed, and just curls up into a ball and is freaking out, crying, wishing she was back home. Oh man, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be in this storm. I don't want to be in this situation. This is horrible. Why did I, make this decision? And then all of a sudden, a branch crashes through her window, right, and brings the storm from outside inside of her room. And she's freaking out, and she's trying to ignore it, and she's getting more wet, and she's getting more cold, and she's thinking, well, shoot, what if there's flooding? What if I'm stuck here? So she peeks her head out, and obviously massive winds, all this rain, and she actually looks outside, and there's somebody outside. There's somebody outside of the window that's cowering, kind of sitting behind a corner of a building that she's right next to, and she immediately forgets about her situation and starts freaking out for their situation and calls to the person, hey, come here. Let me help you. Come into this place. It's better than out there. Inside here is better than out there. And gets this person to come into her bedroom, and then together they find material, and then they board up the window, right? And they're able to prevent the storm now from getting inside of the bedroom, and they kind of huddle there safe until the storm passes, right? Once the storm passes, she goes, oh wow, so I could have just cowered or even tried to run away from the storm, but as much as I ran away from the storm, it was still there. As a matter of fact, the more I tried to run away, the more the storm came into my presence, right? The more it came into her room and all of this stuff. But she's like, once I started looking at getting through the storm, and even more so helping other people through their storms, the more it was actually helping me. And I started to not think about being a victim in this situation and started proactively working to help the situation. And in the end, the storm passed. So in our lives, right, we have storms. They're inevitable. We're either going toward a storm, right? One's coming towards us. We're in the middle of a storm right now, or a storm has just passed. And if you find yourself in any one of those situations, right, that's a fairly simple story, right? But I think it evokes and tells a lot about us and our experiences in these storms. So every day working out, you can view as a storm, right? You know that there's going to be difficulty. You know that there's going to be challenge, but trying to hide from it and be passive, or even missing a workout or not doing your workout, isn't going to make your situation any better. If anything, inevitably, that situation is going to catch up to you, and your lack of health and your lack of strength is going to be sort of a detriment to your continued journey just in daily life, right? Let alone if you're an athlete or you're in some sort of performance realm as well. That's all the more clear, right? So when we're in our storms, we can look at it kind of two ways. One, be proactive in that storm, right? Really work through it and see how much mentally you can handle. See how much physically you can handle. Don't push yourself over the edge into pain, but I think being uncomfortable and being okay with being uncomfortable for periods of time is healthy for us because it sets us up when there are trying times, when there are storms in our life. The other thing we can do is if we're doing this storm with somebody else, if we're encountering this workout or this challenge with somebody else, help out that other person. The more you actually cheer on, motivate, inspire the other person next to you or the other people next to you while you're doing it, the less that storm is going to have an effect on your mentality, right? The more you'll be able to step outside of yourself. Obviously, you're going to go through a little bit of suffering, right, when you get up and do your set, when you do your reps. But man, cheering on other people really helps bring us out of, oh man, this is horrible. Oh man, this is hard, because we're starting to engage the other people and support them as they venture through the storms in life. So enjoy this workout.